And of course now it's suddenly very cold. The Bourne Supremacy, released in 2004, directed by Paul Greengrass, starring Matt Damon, Julia Stiles, Brian Cox, Carl Urban, and Joan Allen. Production value of $75 million, domestic take of $174 million, international take of $114, for a worldwide total of $290 million, giving them a profit of $215 million, less all marketing and associated costs. Characters, well, most of them are back actually, either in person or in flashbacks throughout this film. Actually, yes, all of the main characters are recurring, either as a flashback or an actual character in this current timeline, which makes things very interesting, because everything is very closely connected to the previous movie, much more than a lot of sequels ever are. Bourne, Marie, Nikki Parsons, they're all back. It's the newcomer Landy. She's fun. She's a very driven, determined sort of agent. I really quite enjoyed the way she went about her investigation, about trying to catch Bourne. It was also kind of fun watching her completely fail at that, because while she's good, she's not Jason Bourne good. And Brian Cox back as the villain of this piece, or one of the villains of this piece, along with Carl Urban. Also very compelling. Urban is just a machine. His character is this almost robotic level assassin and quite intimidating on screen, whereas Cox is middle management, meddling, nefarious, corrupt CIA manager is good value as well. But the returning characters do a very good job. It's very obvious that they've moved along. Things have happened in their lives. They've been living and learning and growing. Bourne is still struggling, but he seems to have much more control. Not control. Control's the wrong word. Presence of mind, perhaps? He's better grip on the fact that he has holes in his memory and he's got some coping mechanisms. Nikki doesn't really want to be involved in this anymore. She's kind of out of the game at this point, but now she's definitely back in. I really enjoyed the way she was much more of an intrinsic character this time around. But once again, the characters, all solid entries. No one to dislike, nothing that falls apart, no failures in this one either. So once again, characters are getting a 4. Story. Well, once again, the story is thoroughly complicated. Very good, a lot of fun. It's cold opening of a CIA, well, I think it was a meetup or a buyout of some important documents. That goes terribly wrong, and Jason Bourne's implemented pretty much from the start. That's the funny thing. This one kicks off with the frame-up of Jason, and then his reaction to finding out about this and everything else that comes along with it. Very, very interesting. They really up the ante as far as how smart Jason Bourne is. He's on the attack. He's chasing them down from the very beginning, whilst the CIA is then trying to catch him. They're working hard to find him. They're blaming him. They're doing their best to locate him. All the while, he's like 5 steps ahead. And one of my favorite scenes is when they're all talking about, we've got to catch Jason Bourne, and then he rings them because he's watching them from across the street. He's already found them, and they're still looking. It was so good. And once again, the story feels like a whole bunch of jigsaw pieces all coming together, or like a really intricate clock turning and rolling together and fitting and slotting in perfectly. It was fascinating to watch. It was really, really enjoyable to see it all play out in front of you. Was it occasionally overcomplicated? I kind of think so every now and then, but they kind of had to do that to keep it interesting, as they keep bringing in more and more characters, and those characters have more and more to say and more to do. Most of them background support characters, actually. A lot of lines from people that don't get credited for much, and you never find out what their name is. What I particularly enjoyed about this story is it kind of came to a close, with about half an hour to go, and the rest is wrap up. Not many movies do that. Normally you have your big climax and that's it. The story's over. But no, they took the time to wrap it all up and turn it into a continuing saga, because this one was very clearly designed to have a sequel following soon after. But story, once again, complicated and fun. Easily a 4. Not quite as good as the previous story personally, but in no way a bad film. Look and feel. Okay, this is probably going to be really short because it's just as good as the last one. There's no drop in quality. The camera angles, the types of shots they use, the color palette, the architecture, the style of technology and weaponry, all the overlays as data's being said to you and things are popping up here and there and telling you where you are and what's going on. And the music, of course, much like last time, keeping the tempo, keeping everything moving. All of it is pretty much exactly like last time, which is to say really, really really good. The only thing that's particularly noteworthy was the setting in India, down on the beach and then charging inland in amongst the traffic, all the people, all the colours. Going local for India like that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. And Russia looked very Russia. I'm not sure if they filmed in Russia. They could have almost been anywhere and they could have just called it Russia. We wouldn't know because, you know, the general viewing audience has no idea between the difference. But it looked good, looked cold, looked Russia, I suppose. But I actually preferred them in India. I thought India was a lot more fun. We could have spent some more time there, I think. Do I have anything else on there? Check my notes just to make sure I haven't glossed over anything. No, nothing in particular. This one sits pretty much exactly where the last one was, at a 4.25. It's just real good, once again. Jacket's necessary because it's cold, but it's really awkward and weird having it kind of sitting over one shoulder like this. Script and dialogue. Okay, much like the last one, this is fast-paced and full tilt. Even more so this time around. There's a little bit more dialogue from Jason, a little, what, 20% more, I'd say? Maybe 25%? But still, he's fairly stoic. He's fairly tight-lipped when it comes to his movie presence. But everyone else is blah, 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 at top speed and constantly. And all the CIA managers, they're at odds with each other, and there's all that political intrigue going on, which is brilliant. The multiple layers of deception and lies and corruption and like cunning plans, all this sort of thing. It's just fantastic to watch and fantastic to listen to. My wife said that this felt a lot more like The Fugitive than the last one, and I agree. It didn't have that fugitive vibe to it. Just the hunt and the chase and the intricate details involved. It was very compelling to watch. You wanted to soak up all the details and all the extra little hints of information that you got throughout the script. It was just constantly being fed to you, and you're loving every second. I describe this as an intricately, I can't say that word. Really well detailed follow-up with lots of attention to the minutia in this particular movie. Great lines, well delivered, well paced, everything just fit perfectly. Loved it. I'm going to go and give script and dialogue on this one a 4.5. Fun factor, this is easy. It was as much fun as the last one. Any sort of faults or negative points that stood out from this one were counteracted by the bits that were better than the last one. It's fast, it's fun, it encourages your involvement. It wants you to come along on this ride with you, with them, with someone. Someone wants you to come along. Good grief, it's cold, my brain's going numb. The movie invites you to come along on a wild spy thriller ride, and it's good every step of the way. Fun factor of 4, no problem. Final score, add it all up, you get yourself a 20.75. Once again, an excellent spy movie. Love this series. If you haven't started the series yet, do so. Start at Bourne 1, work your way through. It's a good time. Unless you don't like spy action thrillers, at which point, I'm sorry, don't touch this, you'll hate me forever. Anyhow, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. It's like, I think it's nearly 10 degrees here or something, so I'm going to go inside and defrost. As usual, please like, share and subscribe, but most importantly, I hope you're having a great week and that you get some time to go watch a movie. Speaking of which, I think we're watching Ocean's 12 tonight.